Have you ever been tasked with leading a project at work and felt overwhelmed, unsure of where to start? Well, you're not alone. The good news is that with a clear understanding of project management fundamentals and a structured approach, managing a project can become much more, well, manageable. In fact, if you've ever organised a trip or planned a birthday party, you're already familiar with the basics. Think about it. Setting a budget, organising a timeline, determining resources like food and accommodation. These are all part of project management. Today, we're going to equip you with a structured approach that elevates these everyday skills to a professional level. We'll cover project management fundamentals and explore the 5 key process phases that guide any project, big or small. If you're ready to start turning abstract ideas into solid achievements, then let's get started. So, what exactly is project management? Project management is the art and science of leading a team to achieve specific goals within certain constraints. So, just as every project has its goals, we also have to work within constraints. One of the foundational concepts in project management is the project management triangle, also known as the triple constraint. This triangle represents the 3 key constraints every project faces: scope, time, and cost. Scope defines the work boundaries of a project, meaning the objectives and deliverables that will or won't be included in the project. Time refers to the project schedule, like the planned start and end date. And cost, well, that covers the project budget, the financial resources available for the project. These 3 constraints impact the overall quality of the project's outcome. Balancing these constraints to maintain quality is a constant juggling act. If you adjust one, it'll affect the others. For example, if you expand the project's scope to include more objectives and activities, it'll either require more time, greater cost, or both. And this is where the project manager comes in. They're the ones leading the team, managing resources, and making critical decisions to keep the project on track. How do they do that? They follow a structured approach to managing projects, commonly divided into 5 key phases: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and adaptation, and closure. Each phase is vital to the project's overall success and includes a unique set of tasks and responsibilities. Now let's dive into each of these phases to understand how they contribute to effective project management. The initiation phase sets the foundation for a successful project. Central to this phase is the project charter. Think of it as both your project's birth certificate and a guiding star, providing project authorization and clear direction for planning. The project charter usually includes at least these 4 key components. First, what are your project goals? In project management, we want these to be SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Instead of vague goals like increase sales, a SMART goal would be increase sales by 10% over the next quarter. These goals provide clear direction and make tracking progress easier. Next, we outline the project scope. This includes the activities and deliverables that will and won't be part of the project. For example, the project scope could include designing and testing a new product, but marketing activities might be out of scope. Explicitly stating the scope in the project charter sets clear expectations and boundaries for everyone involved. Next, what resources will you need for your project? This could include team members, financial resources, tools and technology, or anything else required to deliver the project successfully. Lastly, it's important to identify the project's stakeholders. These are individuals or groups with an interest in the project's outcome, like board members, managers, team members, clients, or end users. Knowing who they are can help you manage and meet their expectations along the way. Once the project charter is completed and approved, it's time to start planning how we'll get things done. It's been said, failing to plan is planning to fail. And this is especially true for project management. First, you'll need to set a budget. Based on the resources identified in the project charter, you'll compile an overview of all estimated costs for the project, covering everything from salaries, software, and equipment purchases to any outsourced work. By setting and sticking to your budget, you'll make sure the project has enough financial resources to succeed. Next, you'll set the schedule. This includes defining the project's timeline, milestones, and deadlines. We can do this by breaking down the project into tasks, estimating how long each will take, and determining their order of execution. It's important to be realistic and factor in some time for potential delays. We also need to define our key performance indicators, or KPIs. These are measurable values that will help us track our project's progress and success. Your KPIs can include metrics related directly to your project goal and more operational metrics like task completion percentages and budget spending. Then we establish our team, defining clear roles and responsibilities. Everyone on the team should know exactly what their role is and what's expected of them. Lastly, no project goes exactly as planned. Mistakes happen, workers get sick, and timelines shift, which is why it's also important to plan for risk and change. This involves identifying potential project risks, estimating their impact, and outlining strategies to either mitigate those risks or make contingency plans to follow if they occur. Once your plan is in place, be sure to communicate it to all relevant stakeholders, making sure everyone's on the same page before kickoff. The execution phase is where all our hard planning pays off. In this phase, you're responsible for carrying out the project plan by assigning tasks, managing progress, and addressing immediate challenges. You'll need to keep a close eye on the daily operations, ensuring everyone has the resources they need and that tasks are being completed on schedule. There are plenty of project management tools out there to help you manage tasks, share files, track progress, and collaborate effectively. The best tool for you will depend on your project's specific needs and the dynamics of your team. For instance, some platforms are great for basic task management in smaller teams. Others are popular with developers due to their specialized issue tracking features. And then there are comprehensive software options designed to handle more complex projects with robust features. Remember, the tools you use can help streamline your efforts, but it's your ability to adapt and improvise that keeps the project moving forward. Project management is more than just following the plan. It's also a process of learning and adaptation. As the project manager, it's your responsibility to track the project's overall performance using key performance indicators and other metrics. This helps you understand whether you're on the right path or need to adapt. Unexpected changes in scope, budget, or schedule overruns happen. Proactive monitoring and open dialogue with your team can help you spot these issues early, allowing you to adjust your plan and stay on track. And if the challenge you're facing is one of the risks you identified in the planning phase, great news, you'll already have a plan of tackling it. But monitoring isn't just an internal process. Constant and clear communication with your stakeholders about the project's status and any issues you're facing is key. They may even be able to provide solutions. It's also important to note that project management often involves moving between phases, not just progressing linearly from one to the next. It's a cycle of planning, executing, monitoring, adapting, and replanning until the project is complete. When it's time to close out the project, you'll first want to make sure that all tasks have been completed and that the stakeholders accept the project outcomes. Next, the team should reflect together on lessons learned, discussing successes and areas for improvement. This review can turn both achievements and challenges into valuable insights for future projects. Once that's done, it's time to celebrate. Completing a project takes hard work and things don't always go as planned. but it's important to recognize the team's achievements and individual contributions to project outcomes. Publicly appreciating hard work goes a long way to fostering a positive team culture. In essence, the closure phase should offer a sense of completion and enable the team to move forward to their next endeavor. As we wrap up this training, let's review what we've learned. Essentially, project management is both an art and a science, balancing project goals with triple constraints of time, scope, and cost. A project moves through 5 phases: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and adaptation, and closure. In the initiation phase, we lay the foundations with a clear project charter. The planning phase involves creating a detailed strategy, including setting budgets, schedules, key performance indicators, and planning for risk. The execution phase brings the plan to life with task assignment, progress management, and resource allocation. In the monitoring and adaptation phase, you track the project's progress and setbacks, adapting the plan as needed and maintaining transparency with stakeholders. Finally, in the closure phase, we make sure all tasks are completed, conduct a review for lessons learned, and celebrate by recognizing the team's hard work. As you can see, project management isn't just about managing tasks, it's about leading people, adapting to change, and turning vision into reality. This requires a project manager to be a strategic thinker, a dynamic leader, an effective communicator, and an agile problem solver. And while this work can be challenging, it's also incredibly rewarding. Because at the end of the day, there is nothing quite like the satisfaction of crossing the finish line knowing you made a lasting impact.